Screen time is just a part of everyday life. Tablets, smartphones, and television surrounds us. With all the shows and apps out there, you may be wondering if these support your child's listening and spoken language development, but studies show that screen time does not. So, how do we balance screen time in a modern world with the quality, meaningful interactions your little one needs to support their development? We're going to talk about 3 simple things you can do to grow their listening and spoken language skills that don't involve screens. I'm Dr. Teresa Caraway with Hearing First. We're here to help and support families just like yours who have a child with hearing loss. We want to empower you as your child learns to listen, talk, read, and thrive just like kids with typical hearing. In this video, I'll share some tips to balance screen time with those meaningful interactions that grow that little brain for listening and talking and so much more. So, why is screen time a concern for your child? Well, research and studies show that too much screen time, even as a baby, can later lead to difficulties with attention and executive functioning later in life. What's executive functioning? Well, that's the ability to plan, to focus the attention, to remember, and to multitask, all necessary for school success. But what can you do when screen time just seems like a part of regular life today? Trust me, we've all been there. It's tempting to turn on the screen and get a few minutes of quiet time, and sometimes you just need to. I can relate to this. As a grandmother of 3 little ones, I know life can get super chaotic. And so what I found is setting a timer really helps, that we can limit the screen time to 15 minutes. And when the timer goes off, it's time to read and play and find other interesting things in life to do. Remember, your lap is better than any app. And your child wants to learn from you, not YouTube. Your child's brain is wired to learn through meaningful two-way interactions and conversations with others. They can't have a real conversation with YouTube or an app. So even if the person on the screen is a real teacher, your child isn't learning from that screen the way they learn from you. As a parent, you are your child's first and most important teacher, and no one can replace that. You might be thinking, but I'm not qualified to be a teacher. I don't know how to teach my child who is deaf how to listen and talk. Oh, but you do. You have what it takes just by being you. Pediatric surgeon and social scientist Dr. Dana Suskin and her team at the TMW Center for Early Learning and Public Health at the University of Chicago have developed 3 easy-to-remember ways based upon research that you can support your child's brain development. What are they? The 3 T's: tune in, talk more, and take turns. Let's talk about those. Tune in. That means be in the moment. Be present and engaged with your child. Notice and pay attention to what they're interested in and what they might be talking about. You can follow their lead as they play. And for example, if your child starts putting blocks in a laundry basket, well, join them and talk about it. Talk about taking the block, putting the blocks in, and taking the blocks out of the basket. Talk about maybe throwing the blocks in the basket. Perhaps you're counting the number of blocks you want to put in the basket. Maybe you could even ask the child, do you want the red block or the blue block to put in the basket? That would be an example of tuning in, because you are paying attention and you're tuned in to what is of interest to them, and you're talking about it and giving them lots of language and interactions with you around what their interests are. Number 2, talk more. What does that mean? It means giving words to everything that you're doing and you're feeling. In other words, we sometimes call that strategy play-by-play, where you talk about all the things that are happening as you do your daily routines with your child. Whether you're putting dishes in the dishwasher. You may talk about, let's put the spoon in the dishwasher. Oh, this spoon is dirty. Oh, now we need to put the bowl in the dishwasher. And let's put the big bowl in first, and then we'll put the little bowls on top. And if you'd like to check out more about play-by-play, we have a video all about it. Check it out. The third T, taking turns with your child. That means engaging with them in conversation and responding to them whenever they serve to you or whenever they initiate a communication. And yes, you can take turns with, even if they're a little baby and they're just cooing and babbling. It might be that you're holding your baby and they coo and they pause. Well, that means you need to respond to them, and you might imitate what they're saying and pause, and it goes back and forth. And as they get older, it means engaging with them, that they are, and you may be practicing a strategy called serve and return, where you're asking or you're talking about conversation and you expect them to respond, and you go back and forth, much like a tennis game. And guess what? We even have a video about that you might want to check out. The great thing is, the 3 T's don't cost anything or require extra time out of your busy day. They can be used anytime, anywhere to build your child's brain. Why is it important for children with hearing loss? Well, children who are deaf or hard of hearing, they need more experience with listening and talking and engaging in conversations with you. Why? Because they may have less exposure to incidental learning. That means the learning that happens by overhearing other interactions that children with typical hearing have access to. So a lot of what children learn happens through incidental learning. For kids with hearing loss, they need you to talk, and talk some more so that they can have as much exposure to the sounds of speech and language and the information that surrounds them to grow their little brain. If you want to get started with the 3 T's, it may be easier to start with a power hour so that you feel confident and you can be purposeful with implementing the 3 T's during that moment of time. Perhaps you choose an hour, perhaps you choose 15 minutes to get started, and you are very conscientious about practicing those 3 T's. So let's get real. Screen time is a part of life today. But remember that you as a parent and your interactions with your child are how they learn to listen, to talk, to read, and more. So set a goal to reduce your child's screen time and increase those moments where you can play, sing, read, and talk together. Everyday moments in your life are the perfect opportunities for listening and language learning. Include your child and tell them all about it. You'll be growing that little brain more than you realize. Wherever you are on this journey, however you may be feeling, you are not alone. Hearing First is here to support you every step of the way. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out hearingfirst.org for more resources and support on this journey.